Marco.
And we are really focused on improving the quality of life and supporting our capital city. One of those is the Greater Belhaven Neighborhood Foundation, and Greater Belhaven we think is a very special place. It's one of the largest historic neighborhoods in our state. We think we're home to the state's best restaurants, health systems. We are the home of the Belhaven Blazers and the Millsaps Majors, and we are home also to healthcare workers, students, children, families, businesses on High Street, all the way to Riverside Drive and State Street. So we think we are at the heart of the city. We're your next door neighbor here at the Capitol, and we have worked hard as a foundation on initiatives like the Museum Trail. But we do public safety is an impediment to all the things that we want to accomplish. We have 25 entrances into the residential areas of our neighborhood where crime and criminals can easily access us and they can easily flee. So we are looking for 21st century solutions to as well as patrols, and so we are particularly grateful for the Capitol Police and the CCID efforts to help keep our neighborhoods safe. And we also have been very grateful for Chief Lucky speaking to our neighborhood and giving us data to help us make better decisions about what to put our resources on. We were also very grateful to the legislature for establishing legislation that allows a historic neighborhood like ours to establish a community improvement district. We have done some really hard work over the last 2 years to get a very high threshold of 60% of our residents to be able to form a community improvement district, and we look forward to, in 2023, being able to use those resources. A couple of obstacles that we faced along the way have been in technology for a citizens-led group, cameras and the obstacles to metered poles and how that you actually attach a camera and actually access that information, and whether it goes to the city's command center or the state surveillance systems are all questions for neighborhoods as they try to raise significant amounts of money for more 21st century technology. Again, I mentioned traffic calming. We are very interested in our historic neighborhood in traffic calming on those 25 different entrances, but we also, those are things that are challenging because we want a more walkable and bikeable neighborhood and to be a healthier city as well. So that is my role for Greater Belhaven, and then in my spare time, we have formed a new foundation called Great City Mississippi Foundation that's focused on catalyst projects and more aspiration for the city of Jackson. So thank you for having me, and be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from members of the committee? Gentleman from Rankin.
So with the increase in the Capitol Police, do you feel like crime is reducing in Belhaven? Are you seeing a significant drop in it?
Yes, we have not gotten, I was very interested and I was excited to hear the mayor talk about a data scientist. We are interested in getting more information and benchmarking information, but we have seen the incidents of car break-ins, and that's really just through neighborhood groups and information that I'm sure many of you in your neighborhoods, we definitely have had the feeling that crime has gone down. And I think our visit, we were really excited to welcome Chief Lucky to our annual meeting 2 weeks ago. He was very open. He gave us great information. We do feel like that. As the CEO of the Mississippi Children's Museum at the busiest intersection of the state, I can tell you this summer we had an increase of over 20% to our admissions. We opened a giant, the state's or the South's largest playground with over 100,000 visitors, and we had a very safe summer, and we are very grateful to the Capitol Police. We had 20% of those visitors are from out of state, and we did not have any major incidents that, we just really grateful to the Capitol Police for their patrols, and also JPD, our Hinds County Sheriff. All of our law enforcement has been terrific, but particularly this summer we have seen an increase in patrols from the Capitol Police and coordination with them, so we're really grateful to them.
Good, thank you for being here.
Lady, Jill,
yes, thank you so much, Susan, for being here. I know you are, when I think of Jackson, I think of you and your family and how you've been here for as long as 30 years, as long as I've known you. But I just wanted to ask you, since the Capital District has taken over, have you seen more officers riding your neighborhood than ever before, or has that made a difference, the visual aspect of safety?
I definitely think we've seen more visuals, visual cars. We're all fans of the new colors of the police car because you can tell the difference between the two cars, so you know which car's JPD and which car is Capitol Police. We definitely have seen more patrols from Capitol Police. I think also our location in Belhaven is actually, we're between the Capitol and then there are many state-owned buildings right in the Lakeland corridor, in the museum district. I mean, the state of Mississippi owns the buildings, the Children's Museum, the Natural Science Museum, the Sports Hall of Fame, and the Ag Museum. While there are private 501c3s that run a couple of those buildings, so the Capitol Police have been very present, and we're very grateful.
That's enough.
Lady from Hines, Ms. Yates.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have just a quick question. I know that I've had some residents talk to me with respect to getting in touch with Capitol Police when they have needed them. There's not an effective 911 system or similar system set up. Have you had residents reach out to you with similar concerns, or can you speak to that in any way?
Yes. I am very concerned about our 911 system. Myself personally, particularly at the museum, when we've had a child that needs assistance, particularly on a field trip, we see children from all 82 counties, and we see thousands of children every year, and if we have an emergency, we shouldn't have to call 911 a couple of times to get emergency services out. But we also do keep a direct line to the dispatch number to Capitol Police, and so our staff at the museum keeps the dispatch line to Capitol Police handy as well, because we want to act as quickly as possible. We have a direct line to a fire station, but I do think we need to, there are just some basic management and administration things that we've got to do to make sure that we can access emergency services and police services as quickly as possible. I think that's something that probably is a coordination issue, I think, between all the law enforcement officers and the 911 emergency service system.
All right, any further questions? I don't see any. Susan, thank you. We appreciate what you do. Appreciate you coming here, and it's good to hear that some of the stuff that we're doing as far as with Capitol Police and the CCID are making some dividends in the community, and we look forward to potentially even expanding that area of our jurisdiction this coming session. So thank you. You're always welcome to come to this committee.
Thank you, Chairman Bain, and thank you. I do implore all of our state leaders to be competitive for our capital city. We need a successful capital city to have a successful state, so we are going to be here working hard on our end. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes, well said. Thank you. I'm going to recognize the gentleman from Hines, Mr. Bell, to come and introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the committee for allowing me to have one of my most important constituents in my district, Mr. Charles Taylor, who will come to you and discuss the importance of helping out the city of Jackson with respect to its crime issues, as well as the help that will be needed to JPD and the overall importance of working together. Mr. Charles Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, you're recognized when you're ready.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the committee for allowing me to speak. That's my daughter, Peyton. If appropriate, I guess she wants to join me.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in the city of Jackson. I love Jackson. It's not a place that I would want to live elsewhere unless I was somewhere else in Mississippi. I love this place. My family is from Jackson, and the family I don't have in Jackson, they're in all parts of the Mississippi Delta. And so, as I was listening to the testimony of our Mayor Lumumba this morning, I was thinking about a few things. One, as it relates to crime in the city of Jackson, mental health is a big issue. And so, as we think about crime, oftentimes some of the folks who are committing some of these petty crimes, we recognize that they're having, it may be mental health episodes, et cetera. And, sometimes our officers are dealing with that the best they can. The thing that I always appreciate about growing up in Jackson and this concept around community policing is ultimately when you think about community policing, the basis of it is that the police are from the community. And so, from those officers that I know in JPD, these are folks who grew up in Jackson. They're products of Jackson Public Schools, just as I am. Many of them are my classmates. These are folks who are deeply rooted in the community. And so, what I would ask of this committee is to increase funding for those things that the mayor talked about, the different pieces of technology that's needed, the command center. I know that you all can't do anything about the staffing issue, but as much as you can, as a committee and the legislature, do to support a Jackson Police Department is what I would encourage and urge. Jackson Police Department is accountable to its residents because you have a mayor who was elected by the residents and also police chief that was police chief that was selected by the mayor. And, as I think about the police chief and as well as the sheriff, these are folks that will answer the phone. When I call, they answer. Many other residents, they answer. And so the thing that I would just urge you is that funding for Jackson Police Department specifically is what I think will help the crime issue in Jackson the most. Thank you for your time. I will welcome any questions.
Mr. Taylor, do you feel, is there a presence of JPD officers? I mean, do you see them out? Do you feel as though that there is a presence that helps deter crime?
I do. I feel the presence of Jackson JPD officers. I do think that there may be a need for additional officers. But even when I think about additional officers, my preference would be that these be Jackson Police Department officers. If I could be frank with you, at the end of the day, people in community want to be safe. And this is not an issue that's unique to Jackson. I serve as executive director for the Mississippi State Conference, NAACP, and we have membership across the state. And so when they talk to us, they talk about this issue of safety, but they talk about it in the context of it being a double-edged sword. One, folks want crime to be reduced in their area or eliminated, but two, it matters who are the ones fighting this crime because, these are very complicated and complex and sensitive issues. And so, there is a comfort level when you say that this issue is being handled by the police department of that city, in that city. And so with that, I say that JPD, when I see their presence, there is a comfort there for me.
Any members have any other questions? Mr. Taylor, we thank you for coming. Thank you for your testimony and your desire to make Jackson better. And you have a commitment from your representative and from this committee that we're going to do what we can to make Jackson what it lives up to be, the bold new city, okay?
Mr. Chairman and the committee, thank you for allowing me to speak to you. It's been a pleasure.
With that said, this concludes our hearing. I do want to thank the committee members for your time and your willingness to help with this matter, and I look forward to continuing the discussion in a few weeks. We're adjourned. Few weeks. Al said y'all didn't want to get mixed up in all this stuff.
Media. We didn't.
Outside.